Hey there, I'm Jacob Wade from Roadmap Money, and today I want to tell you a story about my best investment ever. And to get to that story, we're going to rewind all the way back to 2017 when I had just kicked in the door on my wife in the bathroom and she was just trying to shower, and I declared, in 12 months, we're gone. I had just gotten a life-changing promotion and things were going well on the money front. I was making more money than I'd ever thought possible, but everywhere else, my life was falling apart. You see, this job I got was in sales and I was required to travel. And I started traveling multiple days a week. And we had just had our third child, and for the first year of his life, Dad was gone. Mentally, physically, emotionally. I simply wasn't there. And that was taking a massive toll on my wife and I's marriage, as well as me being a parent. So long story short, I had a mental breakdown. And part of that breakdown was kicking in the bathroom door on my wife and letting her know that I was going to quit my job. And within 12 months, we were going to sell the house, buy an RV, and take off on a trip around the US. And that's exactly what we did. In fact, when I responded to that Twitter question, what was your best investment ever? Here's what I said. Quitting my job, selling the house, and using the proceeds to take off on an RV trip with my family over 2.5 years. I bought the best asset that I've ever invested in, time. He replied and said, you're the first person that's mentioned time as an investment. And I said, infinitely worth it. In fact, my net worth went down with this investment, but my quality of life went way, way, way up. And I also said, but having a financial foundation of investments in place let me know that I will be set for life at traditional retirement age. And that really helped us make the decision to do what we did. So let's talk about how you can build yourself a firm financial foundation and make a decision to buy back more of your time. One of my favorite investment formulas is if you have $100,000 invested by the time you turn 30 and you never put another penny in your investments, on an average 8% growth, that money will turn into almost $2 million by traditional retirement age at 67. That's incredible. And if you have a 10% growth, which has been the stock market average for about 100 years, you're going to be well beyond $2 million. So saving that first $100,000 is crucial, is critical, and it will allow a ton of freedom in your life. This is called Coast-Fi, which stands for basically you can coast to financial independence if you invest enough early. So once you hit that number for yourself, you can start to make drastic life changes. Now, I'm not saying that you have to wait until you have $100,000 invested to start orienting your life around prioritizing time over money, but this formula was what really unlocked the key for me, knowing that I could spend that home equity, I could spend our savings, and still be set for life. And how do you invest toward Coast-Fi? Well, it's the same thing that I always say. You just find some low-cost index funds, something like Vanguard's Total Stock Market Fund or Fidelity's FZROX Total Market Fund, and you just ride the wave. You just take that, put your money in there, and let it grow over time. And that's the key, is just a passive investing strategy over a long period of time. That's how you build wealth. And it allows you to stop focusing on money and start focusing on maximizing your time because you've already maximized your return on investment. And there's one more key to this, and I call it the magic formula. Now, most of you are probably in this situation. I was for a long time, but I essentially traded my time for money, and I traded my money for stuff. So I went to work, and I commuted, and I worked 40 to 50 hours a week. At one point, it was up to 70 plus hours a week, and I earned a paycheck, and then I took that paycheck to go buy stuff, and then that stuff needed other stuff to maintain it, and then I needed to buy a larger house for that stuff. And so then we had to go to work and commute and make money to change it into stuff, and this formula was you're turning your money into stuff. I realized we could flip that formula on its head, and it changed everything. So we decided to take our stuff and some assets and savings we had and turn it into money and change it into time. So we literally took our stuff. We sold our house and took that check. We sold and made over $7,000 profit just from selling random stuff around our house. And we put that money into a jar called the adventure jar. And that adventure jar was used to go on fun adventures while we were RVing around the country. And then we turned that into memories and experiences. And I bought back time with my family. And so the magic formula helps you reorient your mindset and stop chasing money so that you end up turning it into stuff, and it helps you lower the amount of stuff you need, and so that you can use your money to buy back more of your time. But you don't have to wait until you have a ton of money invested or until you have a ton of equity in a house. You can start flipping the formula today. And here's a few ways you can do it. One, you can just evaluate the trajectory of your life. Ask yourself this question: if I continue on this path, in 10 years from now, where will I be? Is that where I want to be? Is that how I want to spend my time and how I want to spend my money? That will quickly give you some clarity on if you're going in the right direction or not. And if you're trading too much of your time for money, but you don't even know why, then you're on the wrong trajectory and you can make a course correction now. Another thing you can do is just do a self-audit. This is a financial channel. Of course, I'm going to tell you to make a budget, but before you even get there, just audit your spending. Where is your money actually going? The quickest way I found to do this is just make an account on mint.com. It's a free software. It's owned by the same people as TurboTax. It's very safe and secure. But basically, you just connect your financial accounts and it'll automatically categorize everything you have been spending money on and give you an account of your last 90 days of spending. So you can look over the last 3 months, I've averaged this much money on food and eating out and subscriptions and whatever, and it just gives you full clarity on where my money's actually been going. The numbers don't lie. You can tell yourself you think you know where you spend money, but this is going to be the truth. And then armed with that knowledge of here's the trajectory I want for my life and here's where my money's actually going, start to play the why game. I love this game. So essentially what you need to do is when you're setting a financial goal, or you're setting really any kind of goal, you ask yourself, why? Why do I want this goal? Why is that where I'm trying to head? So maybe you want to save $100,000. And the question you would ask yourself is, well, why do I want to save $100,000? It's like, well, I want to have the security of having $100,000 in the bank. And then you ask yourself, well, why is the security of having that money important? And maybe you would tell yourself, because when I grew up, we didn't have money. We moved around a lot and I never felt secure. I didn't know when our next meal would come through. Right? There's your core motivation. There's where you started. That's why security is so important to you. That's why that money goal is so important to you. So as you set goals, ask yourself why. And if you get down to the core and it's really just vanity, I want to look cool. I want to keep up with my peers. I want to have more and better stuff to impress other people. Those are not the right core motivations. So those goals, you can throw them out the window and start reorienting your life toward the things that are truly important to you. And finally, as a practical matter, you can start building passive income streams, things that are not dependent on your time to make you money. So this could be building an online business. I've built an online business where I've got passive income from my website, or I've got passive income from my YouTube channel and my email list, multiple ways of bringing in money that doesn't require more of my time. Of course, you got to build it up front, but then eventually it's passive. Another way is real estate investing. If you invest in real estate, there are ways to do that online through like crowdfunded real estate sites or REITs, real estate investment trusts that can pay you monthly or quarterly money, where you could actually buy a rental property where you get a rent check every single month, right? That turns into a more passive investment strategy. There's also dividend paying stocks where every quarter you get a dividend. Sometimes they'll pay monthly. And that's a way to get passive income where you're no longer trading your time for money. And there's even ways to do this in crypto. Again, that's more speculative, but there are ways to earn passive income. So find a way to build passive income and you're no longer trading time for money and you're buying back your time with those investments. You only live once. Think about that for a second. Every single day, you're writing a new chapter in your story. But most of us forget that we're holding the pen. So instead of copying and pasting other people's storylines into your life, or doing what you think is expected of you, turn the page and start a new story. And you don't have to destroy your finances while doing this. You can make smart, wise financial decisions along the way, but continue to enjoy that journey. You're allowed to pivot, so do it. And understanding the why behind your financial decisions will help you gain clarity on where you're going and help you blaze your own path. You can flip the formula and start investing in the most powerful asset class on the planet, your time. Thanks for spending some of your time with me today, and I hope this story could show you that you're not stuck, and at any time you can choose to pivot and change your life. And if you want some help figuring out where to put your money while you're trying to build this investment base or trying to put your money away so you can change your future, check out this video on my favorite investment account.